What noise do moose make?
Moose, they don't make noise, do they? Just fucking run shit over.
Oh, they walk a lot.
Oh, yeah. Would you say they're the most traveled animal in the world?
Yeah.
Wow, dude. Hey, they're living out my dream, dude.
They travel from northern Canada to southern Canada. That's a lot. That's a long trip.
Northern to southern?
Yeah.
Pfft, that ain't shit, dude. I went from Northern America to Southern America in a car without air conditioning. If a moose tries to fucking do something about that, get right in his fucking face. Yeah, I don't think moose make noises.
Guess we'll find out. We should have that as our intro, just a moose noise.
So it's just silence. Are we on? Are we live? Yo, turn my headphones up a little bit.
Yeah, whenever you do the clap. And we're live.
Okay.
Anyways, welcome back to the podcast. If you stayed with us through all the trials and tribulations of going through the NFC.
Respect.
Now we go on to the fun side of the NFL, over to the AFC.
Actually, the NFC is the fun side.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
think AFC is just top heavy.
it's the one we know more about because we care
Yeah, because
more about the games.
our teams are in that division.
All
All right,
so
go ahead.
let's go north, south, east, west again.
Ooh, that's
AFC
like
North. It's what?
that's just the directions you want to go. I think.
It's usually how they go.
I think the life is set up that way. All right. Anyway,
So AFC North, last year's champs, the Ravens. Will they repeat?
I think they do, just because I think Lamar Jackson will. I don't think he's gonna have MVP seasons that he did last year, but I think he will. I mean, the only person they really lost was Earl Thomas on that defense, right?
Yeah, I mean, ever since he got stiff-armed in that,
Yeah, everything just went
It just
downhill
went
for him.
downhill.
Yeah, I mean,
that's
maybe.
all anybody remembers about him from the Ravens, anyways. And
Yeah, exactly. He was just that guy who led block for Derrick Henry on the opposing team. Yeah, I think he has. I think they win the division again. I think their defense is really strong. Lamar Jackson, if he can't beat you throwing, he's going to beat you with his legs.
Yeah.
Unless he gets injured. I think they just shook the whole fucking
yeah,
thing.
he did.
Unless he gets injured. Who's their backup? I don't even know who their backup is.
Robert Griffin, RG3.
Is he their backup? I just thought
he's
he
still
was
with
there.
them. I mean, I don't know if he's really a backup. He's kind of in there for.
I think he's in there just to run out pregame into that camera, right?
Yeah, it's his only purpose. No, I think he's really. If it came to it, they probably wouldn't let him do backup. I think he's in there for certain packages. They got some Trace McSorley guy in. I don't know if he even makes it. It's a rookie. I don't know, second-year pro out of Penn State. If he even makes the team.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think just barring injury, I think that's always the healthiest team tends to always be the most winning team in the NFL. But I think they repeat and win that division with Lamar Jackson, that strong defense. I think they have.
Yeah, you don't think that Earl Thomas will be missed? He's not going to leave a big gaping hole in that secondary.
I don't think so. To me, I think defense starts up front, and that's where they excel.
Yeah, and they do still have some solid corners there.
Yeah, well, Marlon Humphrey.
I mean, can he play? Did he play safety in college or no? He was.
I think he was strictly corner.
Oh,
Well, I think he when we played Madden, he was your safety.
Oh yeah, that's right. But Big Ben makes a return.
Yeah, I got the Steelers going to the playoffs this year. I got them going like 11-5, maybe 10-6, because they have a really strong defense. And last year they had that fucking duck playing, and then
Mason Rudolph.
Got his head bashed in.
Yeah.
So and then I think really like Big Ben, he had a reflection period while he was injured.
Right. Doesn't have to deal with Antonio Brown anymore.
Yeah. I think he's gonna, with that defense, will allow him to, like, he might not be where he was before, but that defense will allow him to make some mistakes, unlike before. And I just think he gets them. I think he gets them to the playoffs this year.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree. I mean, that defense is pretty good. They did pick up Minkah Fitzpatrick, which was a great addition last year.
Yeah.
The linebackers, they got Bud Dupree, they got T.J. Watt out there trying to be like his bigger brother.
Yeah,
Devin Bush
doing a good
making
invitation. Devin Bush was a good
building on
linebacker.
a solid rookie year. I think.
What's his name just got signed? Cam Hayward.
Yeah.
Who's strong. So Yeah, I think with their defense, they'll win games, and then obviously Big Ben returning versus who they had at quarterback last year. Um,
Well, I need to just get Josh Dobbs back, so they essentially got a 5th-round pick for free.
yeah, so they got their 5th round pick back basically.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I think they go playoffs this year.
yeah, I do too. How about them Browns though?
Oh,
Do they make a comeback?
Odell's having
Yeah, Odell's having
a
some
rough
troubles.
day, rough week whenever
Yeah.
the hell this thing comes out. I'm not big on the Browns. A lot of people are big on the Browns. I'm not. Who's their coach? They have 3 coaches. What in the last 4 years?
Is it 3? 3 in the last 3 years? Because they did start off the 1 year with Hugh Jackson, and then Freddie Kitchens took over,
Yeah,
and Freddie Kitchens just sucked. So they're on to their 3rd coach in
3 years, is it?
Yeah.
So there's just a ton of turnover there. I think it really comes down to if Baker Mayfield breaks out because he had that sophomore slump. His
Yeah.
rookie year, when he came in, he played really well. And then last year, everyone's expecting him to break out, especially with the pieces of Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham.
Yeah.
And then obviously with what's his name, Kareem Hunt, and then he was like kicking people and shit. But he's back.
He's back. They got Nick Chubb.
Nick Chubb
in
is
the
really
backfield
well.
with
So
him.
they have like all the talent, honestly,
Yeah.
to compete in that division. But they are in a hard division with the Ravens and Steelers, and I see the Steelers being a better team than them, which will give them some losses. I'm just not that high on them. I don't know, maybe because it's the Browns.
Yeah.
You know, maybe they're just always
they just
like,
have like a stigma of being,
Yeah.
bottom of the barrel. But I think they actually might make a run for that final playoff spot, that
okay.
additional number 7 seed.
Right, yeah.
I can see them sliding in there. I think Baker Mayfield makes a return. He's one of my candidates for comeback player of the year.
Oh, snaps.
Been growing my beard in his honor.
Oh, that's what it looks like. And you
Yeah.
have the short arms.
Yeah, short arms. I'm gonna get a chain soon with the number 6 on it.
Oh.
Is that number 6? I don't remember.
Yeah, he's number 6.
And some chapstick.
Number 1. That's what he carries with him at all times.
Yeah. If you watch GQ's top 10, we'll link it. No, we won't.
Yeah, no, we don't really care that much. Yeah, so I think obviously it comes down to Baker Mayfield, how he puts that together. They have the
Yeah.
pieces. Odell is doing his own thing, apparently.
Yeah.
Jarvis Landry's
Do you
always
think he
solid.
goes back to prime form, to New York Giants form, or he continues? Because last year he didn't really live up to the expectations of an Odell Beckham.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't watch much Cleveland last year to make
He did.
to make a judgment on
I didn't
that.
hear Odell Beckham's name a lot, and it's kind of surprising.
Yeah, well, he was injured last year, I think.
I mean, the only thing I remember is him wearing the ridiculously expensive watch for no reason in the first week.
Oh yeah, when he put on like that $150,000
Yeah.
Rolex or whatever. I was honestly do what you want, but I was hoping that thing just busted into
Yeah,
pieces.
same.
Like,
Why would you do that?
I
I
know.
don't know. But that's pretty sad when you're a star receiver and the highlight of your season is a watch.
yeah. I don't know. I don't think they put it together, but they got the talent to do so. So we'll see. Maybe that'll be a good division. Maybe it won't.
Yeah. And then number 1 overall pick, Joe Burrow.
Yeah,
Does he-
Burex.
What?
Or what is that? What is that LSU thing?
Oh, it's just Burrow and
Yeah, Burex.
yeah, Burex.
Yeah.
Joe Burex.
Joe Burex. Yeah, I think that they had a good draft with Burrow. They got what's his name from Clemson, T. Higgins.
Oh yeah,
Um,
receiver.
Joe Mixon just got that contract. He's one of the better backs in the league.
That's a fact.
Defense is okay. I don't really like their coach. I'm not big on their coach, Zach Taylor.
Oh right. For some reason, I still keep thinking it's Marvin Lewis. I feel like he
Yeah,
just
because he's
never
been
wants to
there.
leave.
He's probably is still there.
Yeah.
He's probably fucking coaching, and then Zach
Yeah.
Taylor just telling fucking Joe Burrow what to do. Yeah, I mean, I think they'll be better than last year. But
Yeah.
I just
and Joe Burrow does get AJ Green back, who's
yeah. But he's been coming off injuries for the last like 10 years.
ever since he slammed.
Yeah, Jalen
Jalen
Ramsey
Ramsey.
like twisted his wrist or whatever he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's been just dealing with injuries for the last couple of years. So if he's what 30 years old now or something. So if he's still
Yeah,
as
right there.
explosive as he was back in the day, he'll be a good number 1 threat. And then behind him, who they got? John Ross.
Yeah, he's fast.
He's just really fast, but he hasn't really shown anything
No.
outside
I mean,
of
he hasn't
that.
really had the opportunity. He's
Yeah.
been hurt. And for some reason, coaches don't. I mean, Marvin Lewis didn't like him for some reason, didn't want to use him, even when he wasn't hurt.
Yeah.
In his first game, he had like 1 carry and then was just benched.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Do you think T. Higgs makes an impact?
I think he does. I thought he was one of the better receivers in the draft this year. He's kind of similar to the AJ Green profile
Yeah,
type of player. So I think he does. But again, I just think with any rookie QB, there's always going to be ups and downs.
for sure.
And they don't really have that strong of a team around him to carry him through the downs. So, I can see them going anywhere from like 6-10 to 4-12 or something like that.
All right, well, let's move on to the South. This is your division, your favorite team.
Oh yeah, so
Plug your podcast.
Oh yeah, so if you guys are Jaguars fans, if you're listening, I have a podcast specifically for the Jacksonville Jaguars at Jaguar King Podcast. You can find me on YouTube. You can find me on Spotify,
iTunes, Google Play, whatever podcast.
play, yeah. And then also on Instagram at the Jaguar King Podcast.
Yeah,
So
and
more
you usually
up-to-date
post
stuff.
up to the minute stats as soon
Up
as
to the minute.
or news as soon as Adam Schefter posts it.
I repost it.
Yeah,
Yeah, so he's one of my sources.
yeah.
Yeah. So I guess we'll start with the Jags since we already going there. I'm tired of this.
Are they tanking? Are they tanking? Everybody wants to know.
According to my sources, they're not. I don't think NFL teams tank. At the end of the day, they're responsible for putting game film out there. Coaches are responsible for getting their players ready. The only way I guess you could technically tank is if you're just like not putting the best team out there by trading away your pieces, which is what everyone thinks they're doing. But Dave Caldwell and Doug Marrone are supposedly on their last leash. And they're supposed to get fired if they don't make it to the playoffs.
Yeah,
So if you're in jeopardy of that, why would you tank?
yeah. And it just doesn't look good going forward. I mean, if you're trying to continue having a career in the NFL, showing that you're a quitter is not
Right.
going to attract anybody.
Yeah, and then for instance, like they're trading away players for picks, which is weird. But then it's also like, why would Dave Caldwell, why would he tank this year to get fired
Only to have picks for the next
guy coming
Yeah.
in? Like, I don't know. So I don't think they tank. I think we just have to wait till the season plays out. Gardner Minshew, if he was a first-round pick, everyone would be creaming themselves over him.
Yeah.
But the fact that he's a sixth-round pick, he had comparable numbers to Kyler Murray, who everyone thinks is going to be the next big thing.
Yeah.
Granted, Kyler Murray played in a harder division. But still, Gardner Minshew, he's really accurate. I think he's going to be a good QB. I just don't think that I don't think they go to the playoffs this year, but I do think that he'll be in conversation to at least not draft a quarterback next year.
Yeah, I think so too. Kyler Murray was in a hard division, but Gardner Minshew was in a division that had 2 teams go deep into the AFC playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So an argument can be made. And I mean, he beat Tennessee. Did he beat Houston too last year?
No,
He lost. He could have.
Doug Marrone
decided to.
go for 2 instead
Yeah.
of going for the tie, and they wound up losing that game. So yeah, he was competitive with both, but the second times they played each other, they got torched.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, they lost Leonard Fournette, who was their starting running back. I think, like I said, like in my podcast, I think he'll be a starting running back going forward. But at the end of the day, if he wasn't a first round pick, no one would care.
Yeah.
It was the
I mean,
fact
if their
that-
picks were switched, if
Right, if Leonard Fournette.
Minshew was first round and Fournette was 6th round, and this happened, nobody would care.
Yeah.
Nobody would say anything.
So I mean, I think he's talented, but at the end of the day, they run more east-west style running, more zone read, and he just can't do it.
Yeah, he just
If you watch
runs up
Jaguars
his
football, he just
offenses.
struggles with lateral quickness. Well, I mean, when the hole is there, he'll get you 4 yards, but any running back can do that.
He's busted out some big runs last year, though.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is he doesn't create for himself.
Yeah.
So if the hole is there, he'll take it. But it's like,
Yeah.
okay, who can't do that?
Right.
So I don't know. We'll see how. I think he does well in Tampa, but I just don't think that it's going to be that much of a drop off for them.
Right.
And
yeah,
then
I mean, the news coming out is that the backups are filling his spot just as well. So
yeah, and then we'll see what the fuck happens with that.
Yeah. So on to, I actually think in this division the Titans will take it. They really haven't had much change since last year. They added in a couple of solid pieces. I mean, they lost Jarrell Casey, who
Went to the
I
Broncos.
can't stand, but they just brought in Jadeveon Clowney.
Yeah.
So I think Ryan Tannehill is a good quarterback. I don't think he's worth the contract, but I think he's good enough to get them back into the playoffs and probably go deep, given Derrick Henry's ability to just plow everyone over.
I think they'll go to the playoffs, but I don't think they win the division. They have the best roster, but I just don't think Ryan Tannehill scares anyone. Even
I
in
don't
the
think he has
playoffs.
to. I think they have a team where Derrick Henry scares enough people that Ryan Tannehill doesn't have to.
That always dies out because Jacksonville does the same
Yeah.
thing. It's a winning formula, but it's not a consistent winning formula. You always,
Right.
I think, at the end of the day, you're gonna need a good QB. And Ryan Tannehill, I don't know. I mean, he did well for them, for what they needed him to do. But when it came to the playoffs, he definitely wasn't scaring anyone. They won because of Derrick Henry putting up ridiculous numbers.
True.
Um,
Stiff arming people.
Yeah, but they have a good enough defense to. They have a good enough roster. The roster throughout is just a strong roster. So I think they'll make it to the playoffs. I just don't know if they win that division. And plus, I also kind of hate the Titans, so I can never say that.
Texans. Can Watson survive the sabotage that Bill O'Brien is trying?
Yeah.
I mean, he has Will Fuller, who's been injured more than.
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah, Will Fuller 5.
Will Fuller, Brandon Cooks now.
Yeah.
And then, do they still have, what's his name?
Who?
The guy from the Dolphins, Kenny Stills.
Kenny Stills? No, I think he actually left.
Okay.
Not like he was really.
Yeah, he wasn't that big of a piece,
He
but.
just happened to come around. They do have Randall Cobb, who's.
Yeah, that's who they signed, Randall Cobb, who still probably got something left.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think
Actually, they do have Kenny Stills.
I still got him. Okay.
I just thought he got arrested, so he got kicked off, but now he's still with them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I think that Deshaun Watson's good enough to get them to the playoffs, but I don't think they have a strong enough roster to go that deep into the playoffs. Especially now with Phillip Rivers in that. The Colts have a really good team, and they just added a good quarter. Well, if he plays up to his potential, good quarterback. So they'll have a tough division.
Yeah, let's go on to that. Phillip Rivers, old ass.
My God, yeah.
I mean, I don't think he can. I don't think he'll do anything here in Indianapolis. I doubt it. He's coming into a new team, and I don't think his attitude will really transfer over well to the rest of the locker room. Just thinks he's the shit. And
I don't know. Maybe
I don't think he's going to be that great taking over a team. I think he was good with San Diego because he started out young and just kind of took over the team that way. Here he's coming in as an old guy trying to make things happen, and I don't think it'll work out.
Maybe. I mean, to me, I think winning cures all, even if you don't like. I mean,
yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? Winning cures all. I still think he has some left in the tank. And I think I could see them winning the division just because their roster is strong. They have the best, I think, offensive line in football, which he never really had in San Diego, in Los Angeles, which was always like he had to work around that, whereas now he has the O-line. His receiving cores and stuff in San Diego, Los Angeles were usually better, but T.Y. Hilton.
I mean, he's got Paris Campbell. He's got Pascal.
And then
they got rookies.
Jonathan Taylor now behind that offensive line, along with Marlon Mack, who I think is a good running back. So I can see Phillip Rivers being good enough for them to win that division.
He does like his tight ends too, and they got Jack Doyle over there.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he'll suck. I'll leave it at that.
All right, that's a good spot to leave.
That we're down 2 divisions, 2 more to go. I think it's time for San Pellegrino break.
San Pellegrino, yes.
The best water in the world.
If not the best, the greatest.
Support the people that we wish supported our podcast by San Pellegrino.
Oh,
yeah.
it just slides. You don't even have to, gulp it. I don't even remember. I don't even feel it go down. It just sits right in your stomach.
Yep.
Your liver
just fizzes a little.
Thanks you.
Yeah.
It's the best water there is.
All right, let's get back to it. AFC East, North, South, East. Yep, AFC East. This is my division,
So I
the
guess
one that's been causing me hell for the last couple of decades.
So I guess you can start off.
It's been run by the Patriots, who are no longer the Patriots of old. But they do have Cam Newton in there. This will really answer the question of, is this Belichick's team or Brady's team? I think if Cam can put out, can do good, it'll prove that this is really all Belichick's doing, especially if Brady doesn't really do that well in Tampa, which I could really see happening. I can see the Patriots doing great again with Cam. He's got a couple of good receivers up there, and tell us the short guy's name, Edelman, and they got N'Keal Harry, who's never seen him leave the facilities. I think the big question for them will be the defense, seeing as Dante Hightower opted out due to COVID,
Right.
and then half the defense followed him. I think they do still have their main guys over there in the McCourty twins, Gilmore.
Yeah.
But them linebackers. I don't know, did the defensive linemen any opt out?
I don't remember. I know they had the most opt-outs, but I don't remember
Yeah.
who exactly opted out. I know Hightower did, and he was a big piece.
Yeah, I mean that's your defensive captain, so that's going to put a big dent in it. Do I think Cam can? Is he the answer? I'm gonna go with a no.
All right.
I think he might start out good, but I think he's gonna fizz out.
Okay. I think they win the division. I think that Belichick is the greatest coach, and Tom Brady was the greatest quarterback. So I just happened to be a perfect storm that worked together. But even when Brady got injured that one year, Matt Castle took him 11-5.
Right.
Or whatever he went that year, 10-6, 11-5. So they could win with a lesser quarterback per se. I mean, that was obviously forever ago, so it's a different time. But I think that Belichick will make it work. Cam Newton, I think he's still a good quarterback. And he adds something different that Belichick never had, as somebody who's mobile. And Josh Daniels has never really worked with that. I guess Tim Tebow, but Tim Tebow couldn't throw.
Yeah.
So I think they make it work. I think the defense, even with the missing pieces, Belichick's, that's his strength. I think he finds a way to get it done to win that division. I don't think Cam Newton's their long-term answer, but I think he's their answer this year, at least, for the short term. I think they're going to be more run-heavy than they have in the past, though.
How did they even got back there?
I'm just saying with Cam Newton in terms of
running options. Yeah.
I think they're going to use him more so in that way, which will allow them to control the clock, because they used to control the clock with their short passing game.
Right.
But now with the element of Cam Newton being able to run, they can control the clock that way.
True. I mean, they do have although they're more pass catchers, and James White, he's still there. Sony Michel, he had a pretty good year last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you're right. I don't know. I mean, Cam coming off an injury too.
Yeah, it was a shoulder
injury. He might be more
injury,
reluctant to run.
Right.
Plus, Belichick's he wasn't really one to run a fancy style offense. I mean, his entire time with Brady, he's run a pro style.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just because Brady is a pro style quarterback. I mean, Belichick's always been a guy who works with what he has.
Yeah.
You know, he never makes somebody what they're not. And I think that's why he's been a really successful coach, because that's why he always finds players that people don't like and sticks them where they work, even if he's covering punts. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he finds the guys who are best at covering punts, and he keeps them there. He doesn't care how much he pays them. He doesn't care whatever the hell it is. That's why I think he's always going to be successful. And that's why I see them win the division. To me, I just can't count out Belichick. Unless they had if they had Hoyer or what's his name, Stidham or whatever his name is, then I'd say, okay, they wouldn't win the division. But with Cam, who's been proven to win this league, I think they
former
win.
MVP.
Yeah.
I actually have the Bills winning this division, as much as it pains me to say. Their team hasn't changed much from last year. Offensively, they lost Frank Gore, I guess, is the only one. Yeah. They added in one of the best receivers in the league. I mean, it all lies on Josh Allen's shoulders, so long as he doesn't use them So long as he doesn't use him to overthrow John
Diggs.
Brown or
Diggs.
Diggs, yeah. And defensively, I mean, they were pretty much intact. Nothing's changed. They got all their starters back. Well, all their star players back.
Yeah.
Added on Josh Norman, who's, I mean, he struggled in Washington, but
Yeah.
he might still have something left in him. So so long as Josh Allen can put it together, I think the Bills take this division.
Yeah. I could see the Bill. I have them going like 9-7 or 10-6 again. I think they have one of the best offensive and defensive lines in football. I think, like you said, Josh Allen. I don't think he's that good. He wins for them because he's able to use his legs a lot.
Yeah,
But when he is forced to throw, he's not that accurate. He doesn't set his feet. He guns it 80 miles an hour, 10 feet away, and like he just doesn't really have that much touch on the ball. But maybe he puts together this year. He has a good target now in Diggs.
yeah.
But I don't know. I just don't see it. That's why I have him going 10-6, 9-7, possibly sneaking into the playoffs. Is really because of Josh Allen. From what I watched, because he has a really good offensive line, and a good running game with Singletary. I think Singletary is really good, and they don't use him enough. And when he went into the playoffs last year against the Texans, it was his first playoff game, but it was pretty ugly.
Yeah. And a lot of their points came off of trick plays and getting lucky.
Right. And then it could have been a lot worse. There was like 3 drop picks.
Yeah.
That he was throwing up Hail Marys to his fullback. You know what I mean? Like, It was that type of stuff that I'm just like, if they had another quarterback, they probably would have won that game. And that's why Texas were a decent team last year. They made it to the playoffs, but they weren't by any means like a
amazing.
Yeah, Deshaun Watson literally saved their life that game last year. So that's where I have. I mean, I can have them. I think they are a playoff team with their roster. I think it depends if Josh Allen plays well, they'll win the division. But I just think it's on his shoulders.
Yeah.
I don't know if he does lateral raises.
I don't know. I feel like he does more shrugs. No, he definitely doesn't do shrugs.
He's got no traps.
Yeah. The Dolphins, do you think they're out of the rebuild, or are they still doing it? Are they still rebuilding?
I think I had something on there. I think they're still rebuilding. I mean, last year they gutted the entire roster.
Yeah.
I think they got their QB, who they want. And Tua, I think Tua will be a good QB unless like his hips. I mean, hips are really everything when it comes to an athlete. Yeah. So as long as he's healthy, I think he will be good. I think he's going to have kind of a Drew Brees type career. If he's with the right team, right system, he's going to be really successful.
Yeah.
But I think they're still rebuilding. I think they're still going to be struggling to win some games. Fitz is coming in as a starter, so he'll probably lose a couple before Tua gets in there.
It'll take a few L's before Tua comes in.
Yeah.
I do think. I mean, this is my team, and it's sad to say I really don't know that much about them, just because they've gutted the entire team. I looked at their captains, and I knew like Fitz, and I guess that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, I know a couple of the offensive linemen, but not really anybody from defense. They did bring in some guys from the Patriots. They got Kyle Van Noy. They got Eric Rowe last year. Mm-hmm. I do like that they bulked up their secondary. I mean, they lost Rashad Jones, but they did get what's his name from Dallas, Byron Jones.
Yeah.
Xavier Howard comes back, so they got the 2 highest paid corners in the league. Mm-hmm. They just drafted. Did they? Yeah, they drafted a rookie corner, right? See, that's how much I don't know about my team. I don't think they do that well. I think they're towards the end of the rebuild, but I don't think they do well enough to make the playoffs this year. As far as picking records, I'm not good at that, but I don't think they make it to 5. Maybe make it to 500.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, I think it just comes down. I mean, at the end of the day, last year they gutted that whole roster and they still got 4 wins out of that.
Right.
So if Flores was able to do that last year, I'm sure that, like I said, I don't think they'll be bottom feeders this year. Yeah, I think it's just going to come down to how Fitz does while Tua's getting ready. If he's able to win a couple, maybe that'll help Tua come in and have a better season.
Yeah. I mean, best case scenario, two red shirts this year because
Yeah.
Fitz does well enough, and then
to keep them competitive
Yeah.
and see what they got moving forward. But yeah, I think they're still in the middle of that rebuild. So yeah, and the Jets.
yeah, I mean they won't be bottom feeders because the Jets are in their division, and I think the Jets are they're a couple of losses away from Gase getting canned. To be honest, I'm surprised he's still on the team or he's still the coach, but
Yeah,
they really Sam Darnold I don't think has worked out the way they wanted to. Le'Veon Bell came over and hasn't really had that big of an impact.
yeah.
They
To
just
me,
lost Jamal Adams.
yeah.
So
To me, I think Jets will be one of the worst teams in the league, if not the worst. I think Adam Gase isn't that good of a coach. Half the players are saying he's cool. The other half are saying they want to kill the guy. Le'Veon Bell came there before Gase got there, and who knows how much Gase wants to use him, how much he actually likes him. I don't know. It just seems like a really weird.
yeah, I mean
thing
even
going on there.
when Gase was in Miami, he just kind of didn't care that he had Kenyon Drake at running back, who was one of the better backs in the league, I guess, if you will. He was kind of upset that Drake was trying to make his own plays, and he booted him out for like a fourth-round pick or something.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. Like, I don't know. I just don't think Gase is that good of a coach.
Yeah,
And then yeah, Sam Darnold. They didn't give him the weapons to be successful, and
yeah,
he
they
just
haven't
really
really gotten
hasn't
him anything this year
shown
either.
much. Yeah. So I just don't see them. I don't see him. I don't know. I don't see
I
them winning
mean,
that many games this year.
their middle linebacker C.J. Mosley opted out too, so
Yeah.
that's yeah. I can see
Um,
them getting the first-round pick.
yeah, I can see
Draft.
that.
Oh,
for
maybe
sure.
making a move for Trevor Lawrence.
That could be it, man. Everyone thinks it's Jacksonville. Maybe it's the other J.
Yeah.
Like motherfuckers.
All right. And then to round out the AFC, we got the West Coast
What's Coast?
Chiefs, Super Bowl champs. Do
Yeah.
they repeat it?
I have them repeating.
Yeah.
I guess that's foreshadowing,
Yeah.
but I have them repeating. I think that they didn't lose. I think they lost. I think they lost like one. I think they have 10 out of 11 returning starters in that defense who tightened up a lot last year.
Hmm.
I think Patrick Mahomes is just I think he's the best QB in the league right now, and I think with that offense they got that French guy at the running back now,
Yeah, they do.
who by all accounts everyone's like going nuts
Yeah,
over
everybody's
him,
praising him.
expecting him to be the next kind of McCaffrey type guy, 1,000 yards rushing and receiving.
Yep.
With that offense, I just think they have too much firepower. The defense is good enough to win in the playoffs. I see them repeating again. I see them going, winning that division, getting the first seed.
Yeah, I definitely see them going back to the Super Bowl at least. It's really, I think injuries would probably be the only thing that could stop them at this point.
Yeah.
I don't see anybody else being that big of a threat. So there's not really that much to say about them. They're champs till they are no more.
Yeah, basically.
What do you got going second in that division?
Oh, that one's tough. I think a lot of people are high on the Broncos. I'm not really though. That division's hard to guess the second one. I would go with the Raiders.
Yeah.
But
I mean, they do have Derek Carr still, who was a good quarterback before. We just don't know what happened to him.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, they have really good. I like Josh Jacobs.
Yeah.
I like Henry Ruggs, who they picked this year.
Yeah.
They have a decent defense. I don't know. I mean, it's so hard to pick who's going to be that second in the division, but I'm gonna go with the Raiders. I think they have. I think Gruden's a decent coach. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like there's just like they can either make it to the playoffs, they can either be all 8-8. I don't know. Like,
I don't think any team from that division actually, besides the Chiefs, make it to the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, the Chiefs are probably going to run them all down.
Yeah.
I do agree with the majority, though. I do think the Broncos get that second seed, but probably not enough to make it in.
To the playoffs.
I'm not a big fan of Drew Lock.
Yeah.
He did get Jerry Jeudy, so I think
him
them
and
two will
Courtland
make a solid connection. I do like Melvin Gordon at running back. I think they'll probably get a couple games. I think they'll win both the games against the Chargers just on his will alone
Yeah.
because he was pissed.
Yeah.
So, and I think they pull out a few more wins to get that second seed in the AFC West, but not anything
Yeah.
in the playoffs.
Yeah, I could see that. Cortland Sutton did really well last
Right,
year with
Sutton,
like
yeah.
a turnstile at quarterback. Drew Lock put a few games together, but again, also up and down like any rookie. So depending on how he does this year is how far they'll go, I think. They have a decent defense. They just signed A.J. Boye, who will help that corner spot.
True.
And then what's his name's coming back? Bradley Chubb off that injury, along with Von Miller.
Yeah, they still got Von Miller. who's
So I
still
think
to be
that,
messed with.
I could see them, like you said, getting that second seed. But I don't know, it's just hard to tell. Last year they weren't that good. So depending on, I think it really just depends on how Drew Lock plays this year.
I mean, if anything, it'll be fun to see what kind of raps he tries to pull out after halftime.
Oh yeah,
shows.
whatever the next Young Jeezy song comes out, he's gonna have fun with it.
So where does that leave the Chargers? Taking the last seed.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, they have a really
Well, they got Tyrod Taylor in there, who's
he's
took the Bills to the
serviceable
playoffs for the first time.
in 17 years or whatever
Yeah.
it was.
So
19,
do you
20
think he
years.
can do something with the Chargers, or
Um,
do you think
I don't think so. 'Cause
Herbert?
I think at the end of the day, he knows he's just a stopgap before Herbert gets in there.
Yeah.
And I think he'll be on a shorter leash. If they start losing, people are going to be calling for Herbert. And then he'll eventually
I mean,
come
I think he has arguably the best receiver of his career in Keenan Allen to throw to.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely has a lot more weapons than he ever had in Buffalo in previous years, with Keenan Allen and Mike Williams.
Yeah.
Austin Eckler's a really good pass catching back who can make things
Right.
happen. I think Tyron Taylor is an accurate QB, but he's also very safe with the football,
Yeah,
which
he's
is
not
good
gonna
and
take
bad.
risks. I mean, that's the reason Buffalo made it a few years ago.
Yeah, he was just very safe with the football, and they didn't win big, but they won enough, and got him into that seed.
I mean, their defense isn't too bad either. They got
Yeah, but
Bosa and Ingram.
Yeah, but they lost Derwin James.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
For at least I want to say like 8 weeks or maybe
Yeah,
even
right.
longer. So I think that's
I
going to
thought
be.
it was actually a season ending, wasn't it?
They might have put him in the IR. I don't know.
They did put him on IR. I don't know if they put him to return.
To return. Yeah, so I think that was a huge blow to their defense. He's a
Yeah.
big piece to that. So that's why I'm like, I think they do have a good enough defense to compete, but their quarterback situation is. So we'll see how it goes. I think Anthony Lynn's a pretty good coach, so he might win.
Just talking this through, I think I'd actually put the Chargers above the Raiders.
Yeah, I mean,
I
I
had
that.
the Chargers at the bottom, but I given the weapons they got, I think even without Dervin James, I mean, I don't think they're going to go to the playoffs, but I'd put them above the Raiders.
Raiders, yeah, I could see that too. To be honest, I just think after the Chiefs, it's kind of a first loser type thing. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, well, that pretty much rounds up the AFC.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've managed to. Yeah, I don't know where we're going with it. I don't know where I'm going with this now.
All right. Good direction.
Yeah, but there you have it. Those are our predictions. Next podcast, I think we'll go into wrapping it up, seeing how the playoffs play out. We'll predict our Super Bowl winners, even though if you paid attention, you know who we
Kind of already
have.
said it like
Yeah.
a couple of times.
And we'll also pick our year-end awards. So stay tuned. Drink San Pellegrino.
Drink San Pellegrino. Like, comment, subscribe.
Oh, yes. Like, comment, subscribe. If you're watching YouTube. If you're listening to this on iTunes or Spotify, thank you.
Yeah.
Follow us.
On IG.
Yeah, follow us on IG.
Moose.bros, personal accounts. Armin Moose, Honcho Harris. All the plugs. Follow us.
All right. Peace.